high street restaurants and stuff. That job we do. It's competitive and it's challenging and it's changing. It's fast paced. Like we deal with the big manufacturer in the world like Apple, Samsung, Sony's, and we also represent the brand like also number one brand in the UK. Now, so there will be two perspectives. One is our individual perspectives. One is O2 perspectives. So O2, like they call it customer journey throughout the cycle. So if you think something to buy, you start thinking about it, then you browsing it, then you choosing it, then you again like, oh, I'm not sure, you're confused. Then after discussion with friends and family, you make up your mind, then you finally buying it. This is a cycle, yeah. Now throughout this cycle, the same thing like our life as well. It's a cycle. Our job is like a cycle, yeah. So if we keep doing the same thing on and on and on, you get boring, yeah. So sometimes we need a change, just to refresh ourselves, to get us like engaged ourselves or get something better out of it. Or sometimes we need to change to get the best result. Like as an example, what O2 does. If you look at the uniform wise, they keep changing the uniform to give a like hype or like showing to the customer we are doing something different. It's not the same person you're going or same environment you're going there. So now same thing in our life. If you think like I said this other day about the girlfriend boyfriend, sometimes you get bored after having the relationship with one. Now I'm not gonna say this today. Yeah, I'll say something different today. It's like so the change is basically to get something better, to make sure we are leading in the market, being competitive, to make sure we are giving customer a bit extra stuff like that, to make ourselves better in the market in terms of O2. Same thing in our life. We need change, not to get bored, to have a better life, to have a happy life. Yeah. So it's a combination, because at then work and life is related. It's interlinked. Now, with O2, they have started with visual excellence, which is part of customer excellence. This is the final bit. You know that rally cry. This is the last year. Yeah. So they have done their almost everything in terms of digital, like all these numbers, like churn, digital, and then 4G. So all this they have done. Now this is the last bit of implementation. Yeah. And this implementation called customer excellence. Now think in this way: when you buy a shoes, first day you wear it, you don't feel comfortable. Sometimes you get pain in there. Sometimes you like girls I saw like they put a special plaster or a sticker to not to get
Chafing.
yeah. So then if you get like jeans, sometimes you don't straight away when you put it, you don't feel comfortable. Same thing if you buy a watch and you put it like I do it in this hand, yeah. If I put it gonna be on my left hand, I may will like, oh no. So every time you do buy new things or you do new changes, it takes time to adjust. It takes like, oh, something is new happening. So like when you buy the trouser, you may have washed it and ironed it, then it makes you comfortable. So you see, same thing when you do some changes in life, especially at work, it's the same thing. It will take some time to change. It's not going to happen straight away. Now, so first thing you do is called understand, yeah? And then you do it. So first is understanding, then is practice, then adapt and implementation. Now understanding in there is like why we need this change, which I've said like why we need the change and how we're gonna do that and what is the importance of having these changes. Yeah. So the importance and why and how. How is like it's us. Company is doing it, or the reason the business is doing these changes is for a good reason, being competitive in the market. So if you with the understanding, if you have the understand of why we need it, how we're gonna do it, and what what will be the reason behind it, you're gonna get this on here. As soon as you understand the reason of these changes, then you can practice it. If you don't understand it, I can only force you, I can only push you to do it. You'll do it for 5 minutes and then you'll forget because you don't understand why you need these changes. That's what is happening. Because when I say go up the stairs and say, welcome to O2, my name is Mo, how can I help you? And what's your name, please? We have to remind you to say it and then you forget it because you don't understand the reason behind and you don't understand the like what will be the importance from next month and why you need these changes. So by understanding this, then you need to practice it. When you understand, oh, this is the reason I need to change myself. And then you practice it. That's why O2 gave us the time. They came to us to the Customer Excellence Roadshow by Adam in last month, isn't it? So last month they came, and then we got that they gave us the time until this month to practice and be prepared and be ready. And then they will start from first week of April and they'll do the MS. So we are getting time for practicing it. So by understanding and practicing this, we'll adopt it. And then when you adapt it, that will be the implementation, that will be the life. And that's all we want from you. That's all I want, especially the reason I've done a study for this, to get these things coming on board in here. Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's like we all say we are colleagues, yeah. But what I'm going to share is sometimes, like, if I get time, if you guys really like this kind of stuff, I'm gonna bring more stuff for, like, when I get like everyone in. I'm gonna share, like, from my experience, my study, and my what I've done in my academic lives. I can share lots of things with you guys to help you if you really need to know or want to know. Now, thinking this way in life, in life, like any changes you do, yeah, and always whatever changes comes, think in a normal, simple way how that relates that to the life. Then you can easily accept it and understand it. Don't go like too academic or too mathematics or too rocket science. Just like, oh, why I need the change? Like as I said about the shoes, you buy your shoes, the first you're gonna give you like little bit pain here and there. Slowly you get used to it. Same thing, these changes, it's not like something we are used to. It's like, hi Mike, you're right, that's so used to. We're not used to like, welcome to O2, my name is Mo, how can I help you, what's your name please? It's like a being robot, but we have to do it, and there's a reason behind. So if we don't do it next quarter, it's like 11th today, only got 18 days left. If you're not ready by this time, you're gonna fail on MS, you're gonna fail, then you're gonna start losing money for the CSI and stuff like that. Yeah. So did you guys understand the reason I've gone through this, why we need the change? It's basically, I want to see today, from today, everyone, whoever is concierging, do it in properly. Yeah. And that doing it properly means when someone is coming, meet and greet quickly. Don't get a long conversation with the customer at the front, because if someone else coming from the behind, you're going to miss them. Listen quickly. So like, have a seat if everyone is busy, or hand over to my colleague will help you with that. And then select Sunil or Mo or Eman or Rose. He or she is here for this. Can you help? They will take over the rest, and they got 3 points to follow. And don't get like big conversation. Oh, try to resolve it there and then. No. Listen quickly. How can I help you? Okay. Have a seat or pass it to the next person. Because if you get involved with a big conversation, the next customer coming in, you miss that. And that's the whole point of getting this, not to miss any customer coming into the store, meet and greet. Yeah. So, Mike, will you do your 10 minutes today?
It's up to you.
Yeah, it's a whole team today, so let's do it. And let me quickly check if there is anyone upstairs.